Supreme Court Chief Justice H.L. Dattu has cautioned the government to make minimum corporate use of agricultural land. Addressing a function in Ahmedabad, Dattu said giving land to the corporate sector was alright as long as farmers receive more compensation than the existing rate.
The situation that India's farmers face in the context of climate change requires global and local interventions. Farmers in developing countries such as India need to be recognized as a special vulnerable group in the context of global measure to deal with the impact of climate change. We must at all costs avoid the trap of dealing with agriculture in a homogeneous fashion at global level climates. Corporatized farming in large parts of the world cannot be compared to the situation in India, where over 80% of the cultivators are small and marginal farmers. The extent and intensity of vulnerability faced by our farmers must be accounted for in a very specific ways while developing the next change of international legal obligations, and the same consideration must be given to our farmers by our national and state governments. The impact of climate change can push Indian agriculture into a much deeper crisis than the one it faces today. But we would be committing a serious error of judgment if we do not see the fact that it is by taking a whole range of socio-economic measures that we can reduce the impact of climate change on Indian farmers. The global national and local conversation about climate change and agriculture cannot be about emissions. It must instead be centered around issues of vulnerability and socio-economic rights. Friends, before I conclude, apart from discussing this climate change or the impact of climate change on the farmers community, the discussion can also think of how our farmers can be helped by the parties in power. In my opinion, the agricultural lands that are being acquired by the state governments for the purpose of handing over to corporate sectors, if it could be minimized, it would help the agricultural community to a large extent.
Powered by NNIS.